Hello ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to this very tutorial of QuickBooks. My name as usual, I'm Hendo Samuel, and I'm very happy to be with you today. In the other previous session of QuickBooks, we handled a variety of things. We looked at the procedure through which you pass to create the company file in QuickBooks, how you modify the setup of the system so that it fits the system of your organization, and how we create accounts in QuickBooks, how we enter items, and all those things. We tackled them in the other previous session. And if you are here and you did not watch the other first session, I would advise that you just follow that link in the description of this video, and then you first watch that video so that you can cope up with us starting from where we are beginning today. So for today, we are going to learn how to create customers in QuickBooks and how to do some of the transaction under the customers area section. So if we are creating the customers, you use two options here. You either come and select customers. It has shown this customer window is not here. What you do, so this is the starting page where we are supposed to begin. So what you are going to do, you either click on the customers main tab here, then you come and select customer center. So when you click on the customer center, then they will bring this window here which is showing customers information. So this is the area where the list of customers or names of the customers are displayed. Then at this area here, we find there the transaction of the customer. When you click on the customer, then the transactions are listed here of that specified customers. Then the details of the customers are also displayed in this area here. So when we are creating a new customer, you come and click on this option here where we have new customer and jobs. You click there. When you click there, then you will see another drop down list which is having new customer. You come and select new customer. Then they will load this window where we enter now the customer details. So here we have customer name. You can enter there the customer name. Our customer is John. Our first customer is John. Now, as our company is a setup of a school, that means our customers, they are the students. So John is our student, and John is having an opening balance. So the opening balance of that customer, you put it here. If it is not specified, but if that balance is specified, maybe you supplied that person service on credit, then you have to go and specify that balance on that account where it is supposed to be reflected. But if that account or that balance is not specified, then you just come and put it here as the opening balance. And you must be knowing it that that balance will still be reflected in the statement there as uncategorized income, because it is not specified where it is originating from. So that's why I'm saying if the opening balance is specified, then you have to go and do it from the other side of its direct account. But if it is not specified, then you just enter it here. So for our customer is having a balance of 100,000. Then the date we will use 1st January 2022 as we used the other previous session. 2022, 1st January 2022. Then after, you come and enter also these details here the way they are here. Then after you click OK, then they will tell you that the name is already in use by the vendor. So we are already having a vendor with the name John. So we can edit here. We can add there John F. Then we click OK. Then they will bring this pop-up notification trying to show you that the transaction you have entered is in the past by more than 90 days. So they determine this one by following the date of the computer and then the date that you have entered in your transaction. That's why they bring this notification. So you can just say yes, then the transaction will save. So that is our first customer. So our another customer is called Grace. So you come and click on new customer and job, you select new customer, you enter the name of the customer, Grace. Then Grace is not having an opening balance, just leave it as blank as it is. We come to the date of that transaction. It is 1st January 2022. Then you also enter these details. After entering these details, you just come and click OK. Then another customer, you still come here, and if you don't come here to use this option, you can as well right click in this table here where we have the name of the customers. Just right click there, then they will bring this dialog box. Then you come and select new customer. Then you enter now the customer name again. This one is called Henry. Then you set the date. The date is still the same, 1st January 2022. That one is also a customer is not having any balance. Another student is Jovia. So you right click, you come on new, then you put there the name of that customer, Jovia. Then you set the date as usual, which is 1st January 2022. Then you also enter these details if they are provided. Then you select OK. Then the customer will save. So that is the procedure of creating our customers. So for the setup of a school or an institution, an education institution, when the customers who are now the students report, on the first day when they report or when they are admitted, they are supposed to be billed. We bill them by creating the invoices and put there all the things that they are supposed to pay. For example, here in our list of items, when you try to click here and check list of items, you will find there that some of the items that we are having here as per now have their development fee, have their tuition fee. So we can create there another one item. For example, we can say you can put there boarding fee. It's a new item. We select it. It is a service. Put there the name of the item. It's a boarding fee. Boarding fee. Boarding what? Boarding fee. Boarding fees. Then we said then the item must be having a corresponding income account. So you come on the account here, then you put there the name of the account. So the name of the account that you put here, which is the income account, is the very account that will be reflected in the reports the other side. So you can put there any name that you will want to be reflected in your statements. For us, we can just put there boarding fee income. Can put the boarding income. Then after we put there the rate. So when you try to click here, they will tell you the income account you have put here, the boarding income account is not among the list of items that we are having in the chart of account. Then we are going to set it. You just click set up, then you come and select save and close. Then you come and enter the rate you charge for boarding. Let us assume boarding fee is 150 per term or per semester. Then after you click OK, then our item will also be saved here. So after entering our items there, then we assume now Grace is our new student and has come to report for a new term. So we have to bill that student what he is going to pay throughout that term or that semester. Let us assume Grace will be billed or will be invested with tuition. So what you do, you right click on that customer, then you come and select create invoice. So after selecting create invoice, then they will open this invoice. So in this invoice now you enter there the items that you are going to bill on that customer. Let us assume we are going to invoice that customer tuition. So when you type here tuition, then the name of item will come. Just select it. Then because already the rate for tuition is already set the other side in the system, so when you select here tuition, it will automatically bring the amount for tuition. So let us also bill him or invoice him development fee. Then the figure will also come here. Let us also assume is also in boarding section. We're also invoicing her the boarding section, so also it has come here. Then the total of this figure, we will see it down here. So the total of all these items you are charging this student of ours is down here. So what you do, you come and set the date for that invoice. Let us assume we are still invoicing that customer on the same date of 1st January 2022. Then after entering all other details, then you come and click save and close. Then they will still ask you and inform you that the date is in the past more than 90 days. Just select yes. Then our customer will be here and the amount of money we are demanding from her. So Grace, we are demanding 650,000. That is our first student. So we assume also Henry has reported on 10th January 2022. So we also have to invoice him the amount of money and the items that he will be paying. So let us assume Henry is not in boarding, but he is supposed to pay tuition. So we have to invoice by right clicking on that Henry. We come and select create invoice. After selecting create invoice, then we come here where we have item code. We select tuition, which is now the item that we are charging him. Then we also charging him development fee. So that is that one. Then we come to the date of the invoice. We said he reported on 10th January, so we select 10th January. Then we come and save our customer. Then they will bring this dialog box. You still say yes, and then it will save our customer. So that's how we create an invoice. So we create an invoice on the customer when you sell a service or an item to that customer on credit. Then when you sell items or service to a customer and then that customer pay money there and then, so that transaction we call it a sales receipt. So you right click on that customer, then you come and select enter sales receipt. That's when the customer come to buy something either by cash, then pay there and then. So that one we record it as a sales receipt transaction. Then if the customer took an item or was applied a service on credit and then is coming to pay the date, so what you do that type of transaction, you right click on the customer, then you come and select receive payment. So you are receiving money from the customer because you had supplied that customer a service or an item on credit. Those are the common three transactions that we always do on the side of the customer: create invoice, receive payment, and then enter a sales receipt. So we said if you sell a customer on credit, then you come and select create invoice, just like we do it in our daily transactions. When you sell something on credit, you have to give someone an invoice indicating that you have supplied or you have sold an item on credit. Then when that customer is coming to pay after maybe some 2 or 3 days, is coming now to pay that date, so what you do, you right click on that customer just like we did, then you come and select receive payment. Then when the customer come and buy an item or a service, then he pays the money, then that transaction we enter it as a sales receipt. You right click on the customer, then you come and select enter sales receipt. So let us assume now our Henry is coming to pay half of his tuition. So what we are going to do is to just come and right click on our student who is Henry, then you come and select receive payment. So after clicking on receive payment, then they will bring here the details of the amount of money you are demanding from that customer. So the amount due, you can see it here. The amount due is 500,000. So when, let us assume, is coming to pay like 200 or out of that total amount, so the amount he's paying, come and enter it here. Payment amount is 200,000. Then the date, let us assume the date is 15th January. You select that, then maybe he's paying by cash, then you come and tick cash here. Then after ticking cash, then we have now the reference number. Now for the reference number, that is the receipt number. If you have given that customer or that student a receipt, then that receipt must be having a receipt number. So that receipt number is the one that we enter in this area of reference number. So let us assume the receipt number is 109. That is the receipt number. Then after, you come and select save and close. Then they will still bring this dialog, then just select yes. Then you will see that we were demanding 500,000 from Henry and he has paid 200. Now he's remaining with only 300,000. Then after receiving that money, you have to deposit it. So you come in the banking tab here, or the banking menu. You click there, then you come and select make deposit. You click on make deposit. Then you will see that transaction that you have just received. So this is the money that you have just received from Henry. Then you just click on that transaction. Once it is ticked here, then you come and select OK. After selecting OK, then you come and specify now the account where you are depositing that money, and you select the account here depending on the method of payment someone used. If someone used a bank account, then you will come and select Centenary Bank. If he used cash, you will come and select cash. Remember, our Henry paid by cash, so we are going to select cash at office. Select cash at office, then they will bring this dialog box. Just select OK. Then you say the date is already set because we received that money on 15th January. Then after, you come and select save and close. Then they will bring this dialog box still because of the date. You select yes, and the transaction will be deposited on the account. Then let us assume also Jovia reported on 20th, and Jovia is supposed to be billed with development fee, tuition and boarding fee. So we are going to create an invoice for her. So you right click just like we did on other customers, then you come and select create new customer. You create invoice, then you come and select the item. We said we are going to bill her tuition. Select tuition. You will come and enter another item which is development. You also select it. Then we are also charging him boarding because it's in the boarding. Okay, that. Then once you are done with that one, then you come on the date. We said she reported on 20th. So you come and select 20th January 2022. Then after, you come and save and close. Now someone will ask, now what about save and new? We have save and new here, and also save and close. So when you save and close, it will save the transaction and then close this window here. But when you save and new, it will save the transaction. You come and select yes here. After saving the transaction, then this window will still remain there. So that's the difference between these two buttons here. Save and close, it will save and then the window will disappear. But save and new, it will save, then the window will remain there so that you can enter another transaction. That is that one. So our Grace, Jovia, has been billed that amount of money. Let us assume now Jovia paid 300,000 of her amount due. So how are we going to handle that one? We said when someone is coming to pay the debt, you right click on that person, then you select receive payment. After receiving payment, then you come and enter here the amount of money he or she is paying. Then we said she's paying 300,000. Then is paying, let us assume she paid by check. So you come and select the check option here. Then you come and enter here the check number. Remember, the check is always having the check number. So you come and enter here the check number. After entering the check number, let us assume it's 8067. Then you set the date, which is it. We assume she paid on 22nd. Then after, you will come and click save and close. then they will bring this date pop-up option. You select yes, then you will see this amount of money for Jovia having been reduced by 300 that she has just paid. And we said once you receive money you have to go and deposit it. So we are going to deposit Jovia's money we have just received. So we come to banking menu here, then we select make deposit, then you select the transaction which is here, the 300,000 that we received from Jovia. You click on it. Once it is ticked here, then you come and click OK. And remember we said Jovia paid by check. That means she deposited that money on the bank account. So we are going to click on account here, then you select Centenary Bank because she paid by bank. So this option you select OK, then you save and close. They will bring still this notification. Just say yes, and it will save our transaction. So that's how we create the customer and invoice the customer. Then another thing is we are going to see now how to create the vendors. When you talk of the vendors, that is that party that takes money from the organization. So we have that party that brings money in the organization who are our customer now, and then that party that takes money away from the company or the organization. So those are the vendors. So we come and click on the vendor center here. If you are creating the vendors, you come and click on the vendor here, a vendor tab, then you come and select vendor center. Then you will see already we have there a vendor called John. So you can create another vendor by just right clicking here, or clicking on new vendor up here, then you select new. It is the same procedure, just like we are entering the customers. The procedure is the same. We enter the vendor is called Cattle. The vendor is called Cattle. The date, let us assume it is still 1st January 2022. Select 1st January 2022. Then we enter also the details here. If that vendor is also having a balance, you come and enter here the balance. Then you also enter the details here, then select yes. Then it will save that vendor. We can create another one still. You come on vendor, you come on new, then you enter the name of the vendor. Let's assume it's called Mary. Let us assume Mary is having, we are owing Mary a balance of 200,000, and the date was on still 1st January 2022. 1st January 2022. Then you also enter these details here. If they are provided, then you click OK. Then they will still bring that notification. You select yes. Then it will save our vendor. So that's how we create the vendors. So also the vendors are having 3 transactions which are very common on their side. For example, the first one is enter bill. So we select enter bill. When you try to click on the customer here, you will see what I'm talking about. So we have rate checks, we have enter bill and pay bill. So when the supplier or the vendor supply you a service or item on credit, what you do, you come and select enter bill. After entering bill, then you come and specify the account that is being affected. Let us assume that that vendor transported you on credit. So that means we shall put here the expense account, which is transport. Can just leave there travel as the expense line. Let us assume the transport was 20,000, but you did not pay that money. That's why we are creating a bill. So the date was, let us assume it was 8th January 2022. Then after, you will come and click save and close. So you will see that amount of money having come on John's name. That means John is demanding us 200,000 that we need to pay. So we have said when a supplier or a vendor supply you a service or an item on credit, that type of transaction, you right click on the supplier, then you come and select enter bill. So just like the women used to give us bill, so they are giving us a bill showing that they supplied us electricity on credit. Now we are supposed to pay that money. So likewise here, when a supplier supply you an item or a service on credit, you have to right click on that supplier, then you enter bill. Then when you are paying that supplier, when you are paying the money of that supplier, what you do, you right click on that supplier. After right clicking on the supplier, then you come and select pay bill. So when you select pay bill, then they will bring a variety of bills of the suppliers here. Then you select the supplier that you want to pay. Let us assume we want to pay John. So we are paying John 20,000. So you come and put here, you seeing amount to pay. So you type here the amount you are paying. We are paying to 20,000. Then on which date? Let us assume we are paying on 10th January. You are paying now using which account? Let us assume we are paying John using the cash on hand, cash on office. So we'll leave there that one. If we pay using bank, that means we are going to come and click here, then you select Centenary. But we said we are paying by cash, so we select cash at office. Then after, you come and click on this button here, which is showing us pay selected bill. Then still they will bring this pop-up box for the date. You just select yes, then the transaction will be saved. Then they will bring still this dialog box. They are trying to ask you if you are having other bills to pay or when you are done. So when you are done, just click on done, then it will. So you'll see that John was demanding us 20, now is not demanding us because we have paid him. Then that's transaction 2. Then another transaction, we said when the supplier or the vendor sell you a service or an item and then you pay that supplier there and then. So that transaction we write checks. So what you are going to do is to right click on the supplier. Let us assume Cattle is our landlord, and we are paying money for the rent on the day we are starting the month. So we are going to right click on that landlord, his name, who is Cattle. Then you come and select write checks. Then you will now come and specify the expense account that is being affected in that transaction. So assume it is rent. So you come and select rent because it's our landlord. Then after selecting rent, then you come and put here the amount of money you are paying. Let's assume we are paying Cattle 50,000. Then the date is when. Let's assume we are paying we are paying him on 12th. Then which account is used to pay? So let us assume we are paying him by bank. So you come and select here the account you are using, which is bank, Centenary current bank. Then you select yes here. Then after you come and save our transaction. Still they will bring this pop up, just select yes, then the transaction will be saved. So you will see that there is no balance here, because when you rate check you are paying someone there and then. So when you see something like a balance coming there, that means that one was a bill and that vendor had supplied you an item or a service on credit. So as for today, we can stop here. Wait for the next session, and if you are here and you have not subscribed to our channel, please we kindly request you to subscribe to this channel and hit that notification bell, such that anytime we release a tutorial like this one, you are notified, then you join us. Thank you very much for attending to us. God bless you.